Hello and welcome to take 2 of Have I Read a Book Published Every Year of My Life. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have actually already kind of tried to start explaining this once in take 1, and partway through I was like, do you know what, I need to retie my hair, and I started doing that, and then this happened. I don't like what's happened to my hair. I think we might have just had a haircut. I think we've got a haircut. Jay? Is there a haircut? Okay. So, obviously, I could not film with no light. And I also require the internet for this. So, yeah, what we're basically doing is we're going to go through my Goodreads red shelf. I've already organised it so that it's organised in order of date published. We're going to start at 2023, work our way all the way back to 1996 and see if I have read a book published every year of my life. I know I haven't done this. So essentially about half an hour ago I was trying to figure out how to set this all up, and I organised by date published, and I was trying to figure out, should I start from 1996 or should I start from 2003? I couldn't find 1996, so I'm pretty sure I haven't read a book published that year. I am hopeful, you know, that we'll have done as many as possible. I guess we're just gonna see. My ideal, honestly, for this is maybe to have one other, maybe 2 others, like, you know, just 2 or 3, and then I can make a vlog out of it. If it's only 1996, maybe we'll do a video where we just read books from 1996 or something like that to follow this up with. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good fun time. We're going to figure this out. Have I read a book published every year of my life? Well, I am already telling you, no, I have not. I have not read one in 1996 for, well, I assume for sure. I couldn't find it when I was scrolling through that way, so I assume it's not there. So yeah, let's just get going. I will start the screen recording now. I think that's working. I've never screen recorded on my laptop before. I normally use Jay's work computer, but I really wanted to film this, so I figured we'd give it a go. We would figure out if I can do this, so hopefully it looks okay. I'm going to make myself really small now and we're going to go through this. So we're up starting in 2023 and it's just going to go all the way down. I assume at some point soon we'll say 2022. Yeah, so cool. And then over on this side of the screen is just a little template that I've made up in Canva, and essentially when I find a book I'm going to put it in the correct year. So let's quickly duplicate this so we have 2 versions of it. There we go. A nice easy one for 2023. This is potentially my favourite book of the year. It will definitely be in top 3, top 4 is The Crown of Oaths and Curses. So let's get the image for this one. And then we can copy, paste, and hopefully it should now. Oh yeah, it's loading. Yeah, my laptop's not built for this. It's been very slow. Well, it's not built for this. It's just like 10 years old. Okay, there we go. Got Crown of Oaths and Curses in the 2023 box. Let's scroll down and find a 2022. As you can see, there are loads for 2023. That I wasn't worried about. I know I've read a few books that have been released this year, so I wasn't too worried. Okay. 2022, what have we got? I mean, we've got quite a few. I think Fair Lady Fortune made it onto my top books of the year last year, so that seems like a really solid one to go with. I'm not worried too much about picking an exact book. I guess I'd hope that not only have I read a book that year, but like a book that I've enjoyed. And yeah, I mean there's loads here, honestly. There's like many that I've really enjoyed and I could pick from, but for now let's get this one loaded up. So Foul Lady Fortune came out in 2022. I'm not going to worry too much about how neat this looks. I can go through it later and like make it look neater, but I think it's quite obvious from this, like if it's been complete. 2021 we are at now, yet December 2021, so let's move backwards. Oh, I absolutely love the Lady of Darkness series. Let's go for the second book in that series for 2021, and let's just keep going. From what I'm seeing, that's still like, well, I'm not going to say definitely the best book I've like read that has been published that year, but it's up there. It's top of the top. So right, we've scrolled all the way to 2020. We'll look at that in a moment. Let's get this image. There we go. That is 2021 sorted. I feel like up to kind of 2020 I'm quite confident in. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have issues at all. Okay, 2020. Oh well, book 6 is still my favourite book in the Zodiac Academy series, and that came out in 2020, so let's just go for that. Yeah, I feel like when it gets to kind of before 2010 is where I might find myself struggling, just because I've read quite a lot in like 2011, 2012, 2013, then I had a massive break from reading, and then I've started reading again in like 2020. So before that, like, I feel like over the years I've probably caught up with books that were published in between the two times I was a massive reader, but I don't know if I'll have like gone back further than that. I don't really keep track of when books are published. I think the only time I really look into it is if I'm reading like a YA fantasy or a YA dystopian, because the ones that came out around the 2010 mark are very much of their time. They're very much are, I don't even know what to call them, to be honest, but they all follow the same basic guidelines, and I just don't love them so much. Okay, let's find our way down to 2019. I'm just going to breeze through actually like the rest of the books. I don't, oh, I've missed, there we go, 2019. Oh, Mooncakes is absolutely lovely. Let's go. Mooncakes. Oh, that's loaded. Oh, maybe not. Come on. Oh, I don't think I needed to have been opening the image big in the next page over. I'm pretty sure I can copy and paste from there. Good to know. So that is 2019 sorted. Let's find our way back to 2018. I didn't actually read anything at all in 2018, so there's loads. I can already see that there's loads. Ooh. Ooh, the Final Throne of Glass book, Kingdom of Ash, came out in 2018. That seems like a really decent one to go for. Like, honestly, that series is still so amazing in my eyes, so yeah, I think that stands the test of time. Let's put that in. My laptop is getting very slow. It is not enjoying doing this. Okay, let's go to 2017 now. Okay, we're already at 2017. Oh, the first Murderbot book was released in 2017. That's good to know. I love the Murderbot series. Like, yeah, absolutely amazing, absolutely great. 100% recommend it. Okay, I'm really pleased with what I found so far. Like, all of these books I would genuinely like recommend, so yeah, I'm very happy about this. Okay, let's go down to 2016. I mean, I enjoyed Lauren Graham's biography. Oh, the first Wayward Children book came out in 2016. Another amazing series, another series I would really, truly, genuinely recommend. Right, that 2015 is already starting, so let's get this image over. Yeah, as you can see, like, there's just less. Like, I didn't read as much in these years, and even though I do read books that are back in these years, like, there's just not going to be as many. I wasn't around when the hype was happening, so it's not as easy to pick up on the hype and know exactly what is actually good and what hasn't lived. I mean, I don't feel like I should be saying test of time for stuff that happened 5-10 years ago, but that is sometimes how it feels. I feel like writing and tropes and what is good and what isn't changes very quickly. Okay, we're in 2015. Is there anything jumping out at me that I've like absolutely loved? There's Binti that we've just gone past, but okay, yeah, that's 2014. I'm gonna go Binti then. Like, I do genuinely really enjoy it. Well, book 1 I really genuinely enjoyed. I read book 2 and it feels like a middle book. I need to pick up book 3 and see if the series is gonna redeem itself, or if book 1 was just amazing and it should have stayed a standalone. I guess the only way to figure that out is to finish the series, so I will do that at some point. Okay, shrink that down, put it in place. Come on. My laptop's not making good noises. I don't know if the camera's picking up on it. This chair's also not making good noises. I really need to WD-40 this chair. But yeah, okay, and scroll down a bit. I've already seen that in 2014 Station 11 came out, and that still to this day I think is such an interesting, amazing book, and I really need to pick up some more Emily St John Mandel, and I've completely skipped past 2013 somehow there, so I will go back up. Okay, let's get Station 11 over here. Let's keep going downwards. 2013. I mean, I did really like the Bloodline series. Would I like particularly recommend book 4 of that series? No, I'd just recommend the series as a whole. But that might be what we're going for. Obviously, I could go for the second Throne of Glass, but we've already got one of those over there. I mean, this part of it doesn't really matter. This is just me being silly, basically. Let's go for Scarlet. Actually, this is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles, and the Lunar Chronicles is a really cool, like, somehow it's sci-fi and fantasy at the same time. It's like, it's fantasy because it's like a fairy tale adaptation. It's not like a retelling. It's not a retelling. It definitely is like completely changed, but it's done that in like a sci-fi way. It's really cool. I'd really recommend, if you have not read it. I think, yeah, it's decent. I reread it 1 to 2 years ago and was still really impressed with how it stood out. We know 2 rows down, and I feel like a big reason I wanted to make sure that I did this video this year is because I couldn't have made like a pretty looking template next year. I would have had to do it this year or wait 2 years, because I feel like 656 looks absolutely fine. Like, I'm cool with that, but to have all of them be 6 books wide would have needed to wait 2 years. So I have prioritised it this year for a very silly reason, but there we go. Okay, 2012, what have we got here? Oh, Bitter Blue, I think we might do that. Yeah, that seems decent to me. This is the 3rd book in the Gracing Realm series, and I feel like this is the first book where we kind of realise just how things from the other 2 books connect, and just how interesting it is, and like how this series can and like has the potential to expand more and more, and this book really like jumps that off. And I've also never really loved books where there is like a massive time jump between books until this one, and I was like, oh, like this can be done good. Okay, 2011, anything in particular jumping out? No. So do I go Divergent or Daughter of Smoke and Bones or Bloodlines? I think I'm going to go Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I think that's, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that it has my most hated trope in it, it would probably be 5 stars, but I can only give it 4 stars because I really do hate. I can't tell you, but that's the problem. I can never tell people like what my most hated trope is because like it's a spoiler. Like I don't think it's ever been in a book where like I can just be like, oh, it's got this trope, or I can find out before reading it it's got that trope, because it just happens during the book and is like an event, a plot twist, a change in pace. So yeah, it's never advertised, so I do sometimes get caught out. But I still have really enjoyed the first book of the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and I'm hoping that even though it's got that trope in there, that I'll still enjoy it going forwards. Okay, we're down to 2010. Ooh, the third Hunger Games book might be what we go with. I don't know, I didn't love the third one as much as the first two, so I think I would prefer a different one, but there's not much here. Maybe we go with a Morganville Vampires one, but I feel like that might be the only option. Oh, do you know what? Let's go Heroes of Olympus. Yeah, Heroes of Olympus. Open link in new tab. This is the first book in kind of like the next generation of the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief books. I absolutely love the original 5 books, and I've read Heroes of Olympus and I was like, do you know what, like this is different. Like I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I think now that I know what to expect, I am really looking forward to continuing on with this series. And I do think the 6th book in that series is coming out next year, so I definitely do want to catch up at some point. Right, let's get down to 2009. This is where I'm like, oh, like it might not be quite so easy to find them. I feel like these, well, the rest of these years, but let's hope for the best. Okay, so we've got the 7th Morganville Vampire book. Should we go for that one? I think that might be our best bet. I mean, there's also the first book in the Angels Guild series. I actually think that might be our best bet because it's the first book of a series rather than a later one, so we're not going to see it going down. Again, silly reasons, but that's my thought to process. And I guess I should say, like, I'm just going with what Goodreads says these publishers are. Like, I'm not second guessing this or like doing loads of research into it. This is what the original publication date is on Goodreads, and that's what I'm going with. It should be correct. There are quite a few newer books where they just say unknown next to them. I did notice that when I was ordering it this way, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm just not including them, so it's fine. Okay, so let's go to 2008. We've got more Morganville Vampires. We've got a Vampire Academy book. We've got Graceling, the OG one, and I think the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, I don't think it stands up today as good as it did when it was like originally coming out and was first reading, but I'm also a lot older now than then. But I do still think it's really solid, and it just did like so much. Like, I don't know if I'd be the same reader I am now if it wasn't for books like The Hunger Games, Divergent. I don't know, I'm sure there's others that came out around that time that I can't think of right now, but yeah, like I truly don't think I'd be reading the same books if it wasn't for those, or maybe just the same books wouldn't be being published if they'd never come out, because they did a lot. Like, they really changed it. So yeah, that's solid. I'm talking a lot, I'm aware. Let's just keep going. Okay, we are down to 2007. Got the first Vampire Academy book, the third Morganville Vampire book, the third Percy Jackson book. I think that's what we've got. So I think I'm going to go with the first Vampire Academy book. This is really good. Like, it's a bit cheesy, it's a bit YA, which I don't know how it's so good or why it's so good, but I really thoroughly enjoyed the Vampire Academy series and the spin-off series Bloodlines. They were just a very fun time, and I am really glad that I have read them. And they'll definitely always like hold a spot on my shelf. I don't know if this is maybe the first one that I couldn't easily recommend, because I feel like reading them now, if you've never read them before, they kind of feel nostalgic, but like, I don't know if you'd feel it if you'd never read them before. But you know, the book series that started coming out in 2007, it is the same sort of vibes as like Hunger Games, like those sort of books. Like if you read them now, they probably wouldn't stand up quite as good, but like they're still really, really good and really so much fun. Okay, down to 2006. We've got the first Morganville Vampires book, and I think that's probably the one I'm going to go with. I love this series. I still need to finish it. It's like a 15 book series. But I do absolutely, right, we're already at 2005, so let's stop a second. Let's get the Morganville Vampire book over. So yeah, Glass Houses is great. I think I'm on book 11, book 12 I think is the one that I need to be reading. I have got one on my bedside table. I think because once the series is ended, like I'm never going to read more. It's not really one that I'm prioritising. Unfortunately, the author has passed away. Like they did complete this series, so it is like, I think it might be, I could be wrong on this, but I think it might be their only completed series, and I feel like it's probably the only series I'll read because of that. I need that completionist part, so I'm just not prioritising it. Okay, 2005, what have we got? We've got the first Lightning Thief book. We've got the first Lightning Thief book. That's the only one that I would like widely recommend, so that's what we're going to go with. Let's put that one over. Obviously that does now mean that we've got 2 Rick Riordan books. It doesn't matter. They're both books that I would very widely recommend, so I'm perfectly happy for that to be the case. And honestly, I am, should we say, cautiously optimistic. I think this is going better than I expected. Obviously we've got, the further we go back the harder it's going to be, but I expected for there to already be like a missing spot by now, and there isn't. Okay, 2004, we've got the Ironwood Tree, the Wrath of Mulgraf. Okay, Ironwood Tree or Wrath of Mulgraf. I'm pretty sure I preferred the Ironwood Tree. These is the Spiderwick Chronicles. I don't know if I'd recommend them to like an adult, but to any child I think they're a great series. Like I'd recommend like the series as a children's series, and if as an adult you enjoy reading children's series, then I'd recommend it. Obviously there's some books like Amari and the Night Brothers where, even though it's a children's series, like it is a middle grade series, I would widely recommend it. That absolutely everyone could and probably would enjoy it. This just isn't quite that, but as a children's series it is really, really good. Okay, where are we at? 2003. So we've got another Spiderwick. I hated the Gossip Girl books, I'm not gonna lie. Another Spiderwick. Oh, okay, lovely. We've got Persepolis Part 1. This is a graphic memoir. I always want to say graphic novel memoir, but like it's not a novel, it's non-fiction. Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. I read it only this year, and it was really important, and I think it's really important to see and read. I definitely want to find more non-fiction that is written this way. I think the best way to describe it is to say this, obviously it's very different. It's a graphic memoir, and you know, it's therefore a illustrated, it's like, you know, it's told that way. It's not written as a like written memoir would be, but it's kind of told in the same way that Jeanette McCurdy's book is, where like when you are that age, you're looking in at that age without the thought of it as an adult. So it's like you're living the age of the person telling the memoir as the age they are, not as them looking back as an adult with like perspective. And I think it was really, really good for that reason. Okay, 2002 is the next year we need. And we have 2 Gossip Girl books. The first one was the best one, and it was 3 stars, and I would not recommend it. Even if you love the Gossip Girl TV show, I still wouldn't recommend it. I don't think these books are good. They're very outdated, but they shouldn't be that outdated. Like, oh, yeah, unfortunately it looks like 2002 is one where it's like, yeah, I have a book, but I would not recommend. Okay, that's 2001. It doesn't look like we've got one. I can see 2002 here, the Gossip Girl, and the next one we've got is 2000. So I guess for 2000 we're doing another one that I didn't really love though. That is War Poets. Yeah, it's a poetry collection, but it's just like a collection of anyone who wrote a poem on the war at the time the war was happening. It's not refined, it's not edited, it's not all professionals, I think is the nicest way to put it. And I understand at the time that the war was happening, it was probably very interesting to have and to read and to see. However, we have so much that we can read now from this time. The amateur just reads amateur now, it doesn't read as this amazing thing. Okay, 1999, we've got The Lady in the Van. This is a difficult one because it's based on a true story, and obviously everyone's valid to whatever they think is best, whatever they thought is best. I just to me this entire book, it's potentially an important read. I know a lot of people do really like it, but to me it read like someone who really needed help and wasn't getting it, wasn't provided the help that they needed, wasn't provided, even the people who were there for them, it seemed like they were only there on like a very, the best way I can put it I think is minor level. I don't know the best way to word this. Essentially they needed more help. I think even the people that were there for them, and this is really difficult to say because the author that's writing it is one of the people that is there for this person, didn't care for them. That's how it reads. They don't care about the person getting adequate care and getting what they need out of life and being comfortable and happy. And you know, like, there's so many people out there who just need a bit of additional help, and that is perfectly valid and everyone should be provided with it. And it was just a really weird book. It was, you're looking at someone who needed help and isn't getting it. I don't know, I feel like I don't remember it well enough to say for definite if there's anything more in there, but that's just really like the feeling and what stayed with me. Then okay, 1998, Whole Skellig Heroes. Honestly I enjoyed all of these just as much. I'd say probably Heroes, it's the one that stuck with me. It's potentially still the book I've read the most times. This was what my GCSE English, one of my exams was on. I probably read it 5 or 6 times during my GCSEs, and I've read it twice since then. Most recently being when I read it to get it onto this Goodreads account, which will have been... Is it gonna... I thought it'd tell me when I rated it. 2021. That was the last time I read it, and it's still a good book. There's problematic stuff in there. Look, there is. Anything written this long ago, there is problematic stuff in there, unfortunately, but it's very weird in the way that some things that are obviously wrong are handled as if they're wrong, and then some things that are obviously wrong are well, they're not handled at all. Okay, 1997. Okay, we've got The Subtle Knife. So again, one that I wouldn't really widely recommend, unfortunately, but I don't think the book's bad. It is definitely, I figured this out when I DNF'd the 3rd book of this series. It is very much the writing style for me that just didn't work in this. The writing style, I don't know how to tell you why I didn't like it, but I didn't like it. So that is that. Let's move that up there, come on. Okay, back to Goodreads, and the next book we have is Dreams from My Father, which was released in 1995, which means we do not have anything from 1996. Okay, I'm going to tidy this up so we've got a nice graphic to look at, and then I'll come right back and we'll talk about it. Okay, we're back. Hopefully you can see. I should actually probably move to the side. So hopefully you can see all of the books and everything, and honestly I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, things look a little different from when we last left it. Any that I'm completely happy with and would recommend are just in front of the number. You can see they're in front of the year, they're all good. Then we've got 1996 and 2001 where there's just no books. I read no books that were published during those years. Obviously, in reality, I probably did. In reality, I probably read books as a kid that were published the year they came out, right? But for now, that's what we're saying. And then I've left the year in front of 1997, 1999, 2000 and 2002. And this is just because these aren't books I would actually recommend. So I don't know what's going to come of this video. I'm intrigued, but I thought it was interesting to look through, and I'm happy that I know these things now. I think what we're probably going to do is at some point next year we'll try and read some books from 1996 and 2001, and I will hopefully vlog that process. And then what I'm thinking is, depending on how that video goes, hopefully, like, you know, I can do research, hopefully I can read good books. If we are only left with those 4 years where I've read a book but wouldn't recommend a book from, then I'm thinking maybe at some point late next year we'll do another video where the years that I might have read a book from but I wouldn't recommend a book from, we'll do some sort of vlog where we'll try to find books from those years that I'd actually recommend. I don't really know, that's what I'm thinking right now. I think this is really interesting to look through. I wonder if there's any way to like get statistics from this or something. I might look into that. But yeah, that's it for this video, I think, honestly. I don't think there's anything else really to say. I'm really happy with how it went. I'm happy with the books that we found. I expected there to be more years that I hadn't read anything from, but I did kind of expect, and I don't know why I expected this, but I did expect that if I had read a book from a year, it would be a good one. Like, I would recommend it, I would like it. And obviously I don't like every book that I read, but yeah, I think I'm more surprised that there's 4 years where I have read books from but I wouldn't actually recommend them than I am that there's 2 years that I haven't read books from. But yeah, that's it. Please do let me know your thoughts down below, and if you have any recommendations for any of the years that I'm still interested and intrigued by, obviously I'm still going to read books from all the other years as well, I'm just not going to consciously think about it, then do let me know in the comments. Do give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!